to say that we're all people from very different walks of life and we study different things. And I know for a fact that you're studying medicine, which doesn't have anything to do with peace directly. Very good studying. So you as a future doctor, hopefully, how do you think you could promote peace or work towards peace in your career choice?
Well, first of all, I have to disagree. I think medicine is a very peace-related career because, well, obviously medicine is mostly about helping and about the next person. It's not so much about the doctor as much as it is about the patient. So in that case, it is an active form of living through peace. Well, at least if you do it ethically and in a right way. So I was always have always been toying with the idea of later on down my career path choose to work with organizations such as Médecins Sans Frontières or the Red Cross, Caritas, etc. So I was so very interested by Dina's experience. She told me about Caritas, and I was like, that's my cue. But,
okay. Well, good to hear about that. Maybe now we can go to the last guest speaker, who are brother and sister Iuri and Raiza Caina from Brazil, who did a phenomenal job at volunteering at the forum, and a special dedication to Iuri because he spent most of his time at the forum not participating in any workshops, but doing a recording of the forum so that we can show everybody who couldn't attend the forum what it was really about, and what you can expect for the next forum if you have the chance to go. So Raiza and Iuri, welcome, bem-vindos, and speak out whatever you have to say. And then after you're done, we will show the video. So thank you very much in the name of the whole World Peace Youth for the video you did, Iuri. Great cameraman. And then we will go over to the question and answers.
Hello.
Hello.
Everybody. Tomas, pode nos ajudar na tradução?
Sim, posso.
Obrigada. Então, nós estamos aqui agora em uma universidade em Florianópolis.
They are now in a university in Florianópolis, Brazil.
Sim, acabamos de participar de um encontro ontem e hoje.
They participated in a meeting, an encounter yesterday and today.
Sobre um movimento que nós participamos, movimento dos focolares.
A meeting, an encounter organized by a movement they form part of, the Focolare movement.
Sim. E nesse encontro nós falamos sobre o World Peace Forum ontem.
So yesterday they talked about their experiences at the World Peace Forum to the Focolare people.
Fala que tu apresentou o vídeo.
Nesse encontro nós apresentamos o vídeo aquele.
Okay, so at the meeting yesterday they presented the video that we're about to see.
E as pessoas ficaram bastante surpresas com tudo que foi apresentado no fórum, a grandeza do fórum.
So people were amazed and surprised about the greatness and the diversity that we had the chance to see at the forum, the diversity of projects and workshops.
Sim.
E
também eles apresentaram várias propostas, projetos que vêm ao encontro do que vimos durante o fórum, propostas para unir as nações, unir os haitianos que estão no Brasil, os imigrantes.
Okay, so they came up with a lot of projects and proposals for peace in Brazil, for peace building, and for the different problems that Brazil is facing today.
Sim. E outra coisa que nós estamos participando agora é com a Paloma para o encontro do dia 10 de novembro.
They are participating with Paloma, who we just peer talk for the Technology for Peace day next week, the 10th of November.
Yeah, Science for Peace.
Science for Peace. Oh, I keep saying Technology for Peace. It's Science for Peace. Sorry.
Sim. E nesse encontro vai ser muito bonito porque nós vamos fazer inclusive o Tomas, né, vai preparar um vídeo, outros jovens vão preparar alguns vídeos falando sobre a experiência no fórum, sobre o que é ciência, o que é paz e como o fórum deixou ou não um legado para ti, né, para a pessoa.
Okay, so, sí, obviamente. Very much like Paloma, Raiza and Iuri are inviting all of you who are watching us to send them videos, maybe to the email address that Paloma left in the chat window. Very short videos where you answer for yourself. What is science? What is peace? How can we connect science with peace? How can we put science to work for peace? So that Iuri can do a new video to be shown in 4 days at their event.
E lá também eu vou falar um pouquinho sobre ciência e saúde integral. O Iuri...
Ciência e comunicação.
Isso. E meus pais vão falar sobre ciência e filosofia.
Okay.
E nós todos, a família, ciência e alimentação.
Okay, so they will be talking about peace and nutrition, peace and communication, peace and philosophy, and as a whole, as a family,
e saúde integral.
Saúde integral, integral.
Health.
Okay, very good. Anything that is toward peace is very welcome. So, Iuri, do you have your video ready? Você tem o seu vídeo?
Não, todavía no.
Excelente video, Iuri. Muito obrigado. Thank you very much for this video. I think this gave everybody a pretty good idea of what the forum was about.
Tomas, traduz para. Eu estou preparando outro vídeo.
Como?
Eu estou preparando outro vídeo. Estou editando.
Okay. Para hoje? For today?
Hã?
For today?
Não. Para
Não.
hoje?
Não, não.
Não, não.
Ah, okay, okay, man. Okay, so this video gave everybody a pretty good idea, I think, of what the forum was like. As you could see, we had workshops, speeches, some activities like the boat trip where we could small talk a little bit more and connect. There was a spiritual part where we invited different religious leaders. Then there's a more academic part where academics, professors come to talk about very specific topics. Also, the signing of the protocol is a fundamental part where we set goals and guidelines for the world and that we send out to the government. And also in the video, we could see some of the panelists. We saw a picture of Paki dancing, for example. Luis Cabrera presenting his Peace Ambassador project, Omar receiving his Peace Prize. And I want to make a special mention of Anita Martinez, who was a moderator with me at the forum, and she wanted to be here today, but unfortunately for a very unfortunate personal reason, she couldn't attend. A relative of her passed away. So we'll keep her in our prayers today and see her in the next meeting. Anita is a fundamental part of this program, and I'm a little bit sad that she's not here with me moderating, but we'll keep her in our prayers, and I think she knows that she's very loved and very much part of this group. Okay, good. I was reading the comments you've all been sending throughout the video, so inspiring. Thank you. Maybe see you in Jordan. I think this maybe could become a see you definitely. Amazing and gorgeous work, everyone. So incredibly inspiring. Let's not leave this at words. Let's put the words into action and see us all in Jordan if possible. Now we would go forward to the answer and question part. We have tons of questions here at hand. And we could maybe start with a question from Ananda Ghosh, a very frequent question submitter. Very good. Ananda is maybe he can choose a question. A question from Ananda Ghosh to Ali. Ali, are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Ali, Ananda asks, what is your personal opinion regarding making peace initiatives successful in a country with diverse cultures?
Okay.
So,
let's talk about what we have listened to everyone during the forum. Like for example, Dina, she has mentioned that we should include more people like online. We have talked about furthering participation. We have talked about dancing. That dancing really helps to foster peace. Donata has mentioned that we all deserve to have peace and happiness in our life. So definitely we have something in common despite of our differences. Antonio, he has mentioned that we should grow together. And I think that's a fundamental part of these type of projects. And Luis, for example, he mentioned something definitely great, that peace starts with us. So what I propose, in order to start initiatives in our different communities, states, provinces, countries, is that just to realize that we are all ambassadors of peace, and that definitely is something that we should be aware of, because whenever wherever we go, we are still being ambassadors of peace. And we are examples to, as I said, to our communities, to our states, to our provinces, and our countries even. So, like for example, some of the initiatives that I have proposed, and I have talked to some members of the committee, is that since we already have the platform to talk about peace,
Right.
we can actually make more people aware of this and get more people involved, particularly youth, that they're always interested in being part of something like this. And something that I have proposed is to, I don't know if you guys have like seen the tech talks, right? So
Right.
since we have the platform already, we should definitely have a tech talk, but just for peace. And we can develop it. If we all work towards that goal, we can definitely make of this platform something even greater that we have never thought before. So I will quote Luis here. As he said, peace start with us. So what are we capable of in order to make our communities more peaceful? That's, I think, the most important question that we should ask ourselves. I don't know if that might answer the question from.
I think it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's another question from Deb Cohen Musgrove. It is not directed to anyone in particular, so I will just randomly pick Omar and Luis to answer it. Deb says, firstly, it is great to see young people taking up the cause for world peace. I would like to ask where you see yourself in 10 years' time and how you will help and encourage the younger people to be part of world peace. So Omar, let's start with you. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Maybe you could state your age first, what you do right now, where you see yourself in 10 years, and how do you encourage younger people to be part of world peace?
Okay, so basically, I think I'm now 23. I'm not sure. Yeah, 23 years old, and I was recently graduated from the School of Political Science in the British University in Egypt, and now I work as a teaching assistant in the department that I used to be a student in, and this is something that is really positive for me because I love teaching and I believe in education as a tool for peace, and this will allow me to transmit this passion to the students who are just being enrolled in this program, the same way I was, yeah, some days before. So where do I see myself in 10 years? I think I will continue working for education, and what might, yeah, I think some of you already knows that I have an activity which is I'm part of the peace project called Course in Cairo, which was one of the activities our first week World Peace Forum in Cairo, and we believe that we can deliver a message of peace through music. So I joined this project since it was like 10 years old. Now I'm 23, so it's like 15 years there. And now I've been promoted to be the teaching assistant of the instructor. So I think I would encourage more kids to join such projects so to be ambassadors of peace and examples of peace, and they can believe that music could be their tool to deliver their message to the world. Um, um, will you allow me, Thomas, to add one thing?
Sorry?
Will you allow me to add another thing?
Yeah, of course. That's what we're here for.
I just think that inspired by my experience in the forum, I had this workshop with Fathi about stereotyping, and I mentioned what's my vision about stereotyping during my speech after receiving the prize. So this actually inspired me when we got in touch with people attending our workshop, where we were surprised by the many stereotypes we have about the region we're living in, and about and I had this kind of experience before, and I think some of you the early hours when I was in touch with one of the people selling things in the bazaar downstairs, and he was like, "Oh, you're Egyptian." So I was just making like a funny joke. So please don't boom boom. I was like, "Oh no, not again." Stereotypes are everywhere. Stereotypes are everywhere. So I think that
Yeah.
I would love to work for ending the stereotypes that the people in my region have about the people in different regions, and the stereotypes that people in different regions have about my region as well.
That's
I'm sorry.
definitely true. A very good point you brought up. No, no, it's a very good point you brought up, because even if we tell these stereotypes as jokes sometimes, they are the first step at taking down the barriers that often bring two cultures up against each other. So I think the more we interchange and the more we get to know each other, the easier it gets to break those stereotypes, those negative stereotypes down. So thank you very much,
That's
Omar.
why.
The same questions now to Luis.
Okay, the first question.
Luis,
Yeah.
where do you see yourself in 10 years?
It's difficult, not 10 years. Well, I hope to finish university, but for this, I don't know where I can say. I don't know if I will be working or studying or I don't know, but I know that I will continue making peace. Maybe in organization, maybe with the World Peace Forum, maybe with Living Peace, I don't know, or maybe with another projects, but I want to continue living peace because I think that it's a way of life. It's not like, okay, now I live in peace, next year, no, maybe in 3 years I return. No, it's a way to live, so you need to continue doing things. Also, if you think, oh my god, I'm so tired because I do a lot of things and it doesn't matter, or the people say that it doesn't matter, no, continues because your work, it's important. Okay?
Yeah. Since you're already here, there's a question, especially for you, from Ananda Ghosh also. He asked, what would you like to say to the youth with interests similar to yours regarding peacekeeping? So everybody that has a similar interest to you, what's the one message you would like to tell everybody?
Oh, okay. Oh my God, I'm so young. Why? Well, continuous working because maybe in my case, maybe sometimes I feel alone. I feel that my work it doesn't matter, or maybe I think that all the things that I'm doing, like going to the forum, like making living peace, like funding all the projects, don't have a really important thing. No, they are not important for the people, but it's false.
Mm-hmm.
You have to continue working because all the things that you do, they can be small or big, but all the things help to make a better world. So if someday you feel alone, if someday you feel that you don't want to continue, forget, go on and you can.
Do you think? That's right. Okay, thank you very much, Luis. Next question is very interesting from Tom Cloud. He asks, how do you peacefully awaken the light of love in hearts confused by nationalism, religion, racial pride, or racial prejudice? And because this is a very current topic, I think, in the United States, especially with the elections coming up in 2 days, I would like to ask Brandon and also Donata. So how do we plant the seed of peace in people that are plagued by hate and nationalism and who don't open themselves up to accepting peace?
Well, right now, what seems to be the biggest issue is division. The division between political parties, division between ideologies, and racial division, in including religion. And it's not what we have to open up the dialogue to. It's not just one or the other. This way is better. This way is better. It's really just seeing how we could perpetuate conversation in finding a way to be alongside one another, not who's better, because no matter where you're coming from, everybody's valid, everybody's opinion matters, and that's why this world can be so beautiful. This is why America is such a great country, because everybody's voice has really shaped the beautiful potential for the culture that we share. And it's not just even the culture of the country, because what happens here, I mean, what happens anywhere affects, but what happens here in the next couple of days will really, for better or worse, help to shape the world in the next few years. And we have to understand that it's not one or the other. It is all together, and we have to understand how to talk without this sense of ego.
But Brandon, what do you think is the source of it? Do you think it's just pure ignorance or lack of education or self-centeredness? Because I think that most people that are not accepting of peace, ideals, and values are usually people that don't get out too much, that don't participate in these international things. I think the easiest way, in my opinion, would be to have those people on here, to let them hear from people they think are enemies, and for them to find out that you're just like one another, you know?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think there's a quote that I'm going to loosely quote Dr. Martin Luther King for a moment, and he says, "He who finds himself disconnected from society will actively seek to destroy it." And it's really, I believe, this division between people that bring down the potential for such greatness. And it is events like this, community events, interacting with people who think differently than you. Even if I full-heartedly disagree with somebody, this is my path to try and understand where they're coming from. So at least I'm making the effort to meet halfway. Maybe I still don't have to agree with them, but still we're coming together in a place of conversation.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much, Brandon.
Thank you.
Same question now to Donata. How do we start peace inside people that are just overwhelmed by hate and fear and...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you for the question. And I think I want to answer both questions, this question and the other question.
Sure,
and Nando is like, how do we appeal to people who have certain judgments about other people? And I think it really starts from connecting to the person next to you. Oftentimes we see the world as like this really large place, but then the way I see my world is really like the people that are closest to me, and how I'm able to connect with them is really to share my story, right? When you're able to share your personal story, nobody can say like, that is wrong, or that's not the truth. Like you didn't, whatever you're going through, right? Like whether it be a story about, right now my grandma's not doing well. So just connecting on a very human level. So sharing your personal experience, number one. And I think number two is like, I would share the image of an elephant. We heard that at the World Peace Forum. The image of the elephant is that the elephant represents a very powerful animal. And that's representative of the majority of people who want peace, right? So whenever you feel powerless, remind yourself the image of an elephant, because we're the majority that desires peace, we are the powerful. And so it is possible, as we are saying. That's basically in short. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just clear one thing up for people that are watching that didn't attend the forum. The elephant reference is from a project in Cyprus. A lady called Rosemary Gnausch started putting up little elephant statues on the border between the Greek and the Turkish part of Cyprus. And her idea is, like Donata said, the elephant is probably the strongest land animal on earth, yet the most peaceful. So the elephant represents this idea of peace, strength, but still a peaceful animal after all. So just for your information. Okay, there was another interesting question. Oh, here for Paloma. Paloma, listen up. Anando Ghosh, our all-time best scorer for question, asks, technology is also used for peace breaking. How do we check that? So you use technology and science for peace making, for promotion of peace, but like Ananda says, it can also be used against peace. How do we? It's a pretty hard question. How do we make the best of it?
Yes, it's a really good question. Then that's one of the main reasons we're even creating this agenda next week. Is the main question we're going to be trying to answer is that how, because technology, sometimes we think technology as like software and like digital. Technology is actually everything that makes more with less. So let's say a cup is a technology, because before you used to drink water with your hands and now you have a cup, so that makes it better to drink water. And whatever we're going to put inside that cup is up to the person using, and the person creating also can make it and improve it. So there's 2 points. There is the creators of technology have to start thinking of technology as a powerful way of making peace. And a lot of them are already, I think, in this track. Someone in the chat comment about the Peace Jam Foundation. They use a lot of technologies. They have billionx.org, which is a really cool website that it's already in that trend. There's a lot of people that use for bad stuffs, right? Or for peace breaking even.
Yeah.
So we as humans, as Liz said, we might be the solution for humanity's problems, but we might even be the problem, right? Because we're the ones that use the tool. So this kind of question is really important. I'm gonna tell you guys like what I think. There's a researcher in the US called Peter Diamandis, and he says that in the next 10 years, 6 billion of people that have never used internet are gonna connect for their first time online. So it's not only kids, but also like people that are marginalized and that don't have full access for their first time. And what they search for their first time on Google, it's also our responsibility, right? Whatever they're gonna search, it's the word we're creating. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's more than what technology is good or bad. It's like, since we are gonna use new tools every time, what are we gonna do to make sure that they are used for good? And when we're writing code and we're creating the programs, can we blind them to only be used for good? And a really cool example right now is it just won that Fany's competition for publicitary this year. They have built an app that Shazam. Have you guys ever used Shazam? It's like
yes,
there's music playing and then you recognize it. So they made a campaign in São Paulo, which is whenever you use Shazam, and there is words in that sound, that music, that are abusive to women, to girls, or like sexual assault, Shazam tells you. Are you sure you want to download that, because it is supporting assault and like abuse, right? And then they reduced to only 6% of people click download.
Wow.
So it's a technology that's, because sometimes you download a music and you don't even notice that saying.
You don't realize what you're hearing. Yeah.
So Shazam can understand that that music is bad, and it tells the user, it doesn't stop him from downloading, but it gives them the option of at least stop and think, am I gonna actually download that, or am I gonna understand that that's supporting, that's telling that sexual assault story, and I'm not gonna download it because it's against my principles. So that's a kind of technology being used for good, even though the technology itself, Shazam, doesn't have an opinion, right?
Right, yeah.
It's not gonna influence you to say yes, download or don't download. It just tells you, okay, this has weird content, and you're gonna be the one making that decision. So I think we have two main challenges, which is creating technologies that are based on that knowledge already, of trying to bring more peace, building, and then trying to culturally change people to make the right decisions and to search the right words.
Okay, thank you very much, Paloma. I'll ask this last question before we start wrapping up with Dina and Ali. David Wick, Ashland Culture of Peace Commission of ashlandcpc.org asks, how do we co-create a culture of peace together? He says, we find that people are open to this question and get involved. And he finally thanks everybody for bringing young people together on this webinar. So how do we co-create a culture of peace together? Maybe we could ask this question to Pakinam and Liz. Oh, Pakinam.
Hello.
What do you think? How do we co-create a culture of peace together?
I believe that we will use these words because it starts by us. We can never call or ask for something, and we're not the ones who are actually doing it themselves. I believe that we should lead through the words that we always ask for. If you want to create culture of peace, then do it yourself. If you want to have this connected world, then connect yourself with the others as well in the first place. I feel it all starts with the individual initiative. If you want something, then just go for it. If you believe in something, then just execute it, you know? So It's all about how you react to your own beliefs.
I think that sums it up. Me, myself, as a student of political science, I always complain about people who complain about politics and don't get involved themselves. That's pretty much the same concept. If you want to do a change, be the change.
Be the change.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you, Paki. Now, Liz.
Thank you.
Liz, we have this question for you, and then we have a second question. Okay, first, how do we co-create a culture of peace? And then Anando asks, art usually transports you to a different world. How can art contribute to peacekeeping in this world?
Well, I must say that that the same you say, that unity is one of the things, and just do an action, take actions in that decisions, in that feelings, in that instincts. It's very important. Like Rosemary from Elephants for Peace said, she did a workshop in the World Peace Forum that calls how you build a peace activity. And she said, just do it. And that was the answer. You have just to do it. And like Donata said, imagine an elephant, it really helps because you feel strong and you feel peaceful. That's how it works. That's the feeling that you have to feel when you start something for peace, because we are very powerful. We all that we are listening and talking, we are very powerful, and we have peace also. So it's very important to just do things for peace. And well, the second question, well, I must answer that with, we are human beings. So whatever dance transports you, you have to know that there is a place that others can go to. So I think that the feeling you mentioned is the moment that you are more human. So it's natural to feel peace in that state. In that state, and in consequence, you will feel sympathy for humanity. So you are aware of the unity that we have from each other. So basically, you transport to this world with another view. So I call it myself clarity. So dance transports you to unity in humanity in this world. So dance, it will take you to good places and peaceful places with clarity, with knowledge of yourself too, and also for humanity. And from that, you build a better world. That's my advice. It starts from you always.
Okay, thank you very much, Liz. Now we will go over to Dina. Dina is a volunteer at Caritas in Jordan, and she's been on previous webinars. She was at the forum with us, like we said earlier, and her team, so to say, won the next forum. So we will have her tell us a little bit about what she's planning for us. And also there's a question related to the Jordan forum from Renee Marie. Maybe this is too technical, but if you have an answer, you can go ahead. Can USA travelers find visitor host accommodations if we would like to visit Jordan next summer? Are you planning on?
Okay, I can go ahead with giving you an answer to the question before I can go on to describe what we expect for the forum.
Please do.
And soon enough, we will have a detailed description of all the necessities to participate in the forum in Jordan, the accommodation, the transportation and stuff, so that you guys can take into consideration what to expect and what you need to prepare yourself. And that will happen shortly, hopefully during January at most. We're starting to plan for the event. Before saying what we expect to go on in Jordan, I would like to just say something. Like, for those of you who know Jordan, you would know that we're in the middle of all the crisis in the Middle East. So we're the only country that is currently not at war with any other party, regardless, internally or externally. So having the forum in Jordan gives us kind of a hope for all of you guys and all of those who are going to participate, to see the beauty in the Arab world, because it's still there. We often get discouraged by all the media and all the things that we see, the hatred, the discrimination,
the stereotypes.
The stereotypes and everything. And to us, it's like every time we go outside, we want people to see that there is more to us than what is viewed through the media, the news, and everything else. And perhaps you guys can get the opportunity to see a country that's small in size, but it has welcomed refugees or through the years, starting from the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and then onwards till this day. We have the majority of the population are refugees. So you can figure out how diverse it is, and the stories that people have to tell. And I'm looking forward for you guys to see it. As for our plans for the forum, it's basically we want to integrate all of you guys, to have the youth and all the adults in one place at once, to learn from each other. Because to me, walking out from this experience, I remembered a quote that that Nelson Mandela once said, and it's like, I'm not going to say it as it is, but the idea is that yeah, but the idea is that people are taught to hate, because when you're born as a child, as a youth, you don't hate anyone based on gender or faith or anything else. And we actually teach kids to discriminate. And if we can teach hatred, we can teach love. And this is what I found. It's like amazing people from all over the world in one place who are all working for peace. And this is an idea that might seem kind of alien to those who live in the Middle East, because it's like we see war everywhere, and we see people trying to kind of survive, the survival of the fittest or whatever, versus going to an event that was so amazing and so rich. I'm looking at you guys, and we're people from all over the world, and we have this common goal, which is to work for peace.
And the best thing, we would not have met without this platform. So
yeah, exactly.
Imagine all the people that are working towards the same goal, and we still haven't met each other, you know.
I'm really hoping that a lot of people will get the chance to speak up, because you guys have given us hope. You have no idea. Like, when I see all of you and I see that there are a million ways to work for peace, like through art or through dance and through music and through working in NGOs and volunteering, it's just so uplifting. And I guess that if the majority of the world is working to break this world into pieces and to shatter the concept of peace, we can do a greater job with what we have right now. And this is what we're hoping for you to see in Jordan. This is what we're working for, to see all of those people who are working for peace in small NGOs or initiatives or youth within high schools and stuff like that. I hope that this answered your question.
I think it does. Dina, if there's anything we or the viewers can help you with from far away, through the internet, through social networks, please let us know. I think more of us people would really appreciate to help prepare this forum.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything we can contribute, let us know.
Will do, and I'm sure that with the future webinars, we'll be able to help you guys get a clearer kind of description of what to expect and what to prepare for the conference in Jordan. And other than that, just like believe that this is possible, because meeting you guys made me believe that it's possible, even if we live in the most shattered places in the world. I don't know, but there is hope. And like those who worked before us, they believed in the idea of peace, and few of them got to see it when they were alive, but they left a legacy. And I'm hoping that we will be activists to translate their ideas for peace and have them be accomplished.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and very much looking forward to the forum and to your update for the next webinar. I think Ali wanted to add something for the end. We're kind of wrapping up right now. If anybody wants to add something, we also have one last question, which I will read out loud. Anybody who likes to answer the question can unmute themselves and try to, in a civilized manner, answer one after the other. Adriana Rivas asks to everyone, what was your biggest takeaway from all the peace-related conferences and webinars? And how are you making an impact in your local community? I think this is a very good point. We always talk about world peace, international peace, exchanging between countries. But like Paki and so many of you said, peace begins with you. So what are you actually doing in your local community? Dina works in Caritas in her town. I try to get involved in local politics to kind of work towards the greater good. Anybody who likes to answer this question? What's your big takeaway from the peace-related webinars? How do you have a great impact on your local community? And Ali, whatever you wanted to add for the end. Let's start with you.
With me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think that the biggest takeaway of the webinar is the fact that, you know, we're actually interacting together, like despite of like the distances that we have among each other, and we're talking about peace. I think that's the most important takeaway of this. What was the second question? Sorry.
The second question was, how do you work for peace in your local community? How do you try to get involved?
Okay. Well, at the moment, I have to be honest, I'm not doing any, like I'm not participating in anything that might be related to peace aside from this. But like a couple of months ago, well, let's say last year, I actually participated in the foundation, and I presided it for 1 year. It was like a Rotary club. I don't know if you guys have heard about Rotary, but it's actually an international foundation and which promotes peace, peace around the world. And I actually created a club myself at my university, and we ended up having over 25 students from different backgrounds participating in this club and working in different projects in order to help the community. Right now, like I'm not the president anymore, and you know, since I have another commitments as part of like, since it's my last year of university, I decided to step away from the club, but they're still doing like a great work, and you know, they're still involved in the community. So from my side, I will say like I'm doing my participation with peace at the moment will be it's only related to the World Youth Webinar and the World Peace Forum for now. Yep.
Excelente. Okay, who's next? Teresa, would you like to answer the final question?
Okay. So
what's your big takeaway, and how do you get involved locally?
Ooh. My big takeaway is, I think my big takeaway is mostly self-critical, because I've been going to World Peace Forums for many years now. I have a little collection in my room with all the name cards and name tags. Every year I have the wall of World Peace Forum, but I've never really actually been part of an organization. I'm more in the, I don't know, like normally I would be part of organization process of the forum and not so much of the content of the forum, more the structural part. So this year was the first time I was actually participating as a, like,
behind the scenes.
Like, what?
Behind the scenes as an organizer. But what's your big takeaway from this webinar, your first time participating here, participating at the forum, in the workshops? What's the idea you bring home? And yeah, pretty much that.
The idea I bring home is that since it was the first time I was participating, I actually got much more information and much more interaction with the different peacemakers, and it's very contagious. Like you, at the end of the forum, you're so pumped to do good. You're so motivated to participate in I don't know. You just want to be Mother Teresa, and then the important part is not to let it fade away, all this motivation. So, for example, I've been planning. It's not, I haven't put it into action yet, but I want to join a local parish group that do missionary work. Even though it's more religiously linked, I think it helps within peace because it's about bringing religion to poor parts of society, but as well helping them in situations of need. And I think that would be very interesting. And I always try to do little courses like I do first aid, and I did a first aid club course. Sorry. So I try to better myself, so I have more to offer for my fellow human beings.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Keep that work up. I've decided that we will have everybody answer this last question, but please, but please, everybody who's still left, try to answer in less than a minute so that we can wrap this up at the latest in 15 minutes.
My main takeaway that we should all get together in Jordan again, and we have about 10 months to continue promoting and engaging people in the conversation. So oftentimes when we go to these events, as you had mentioned, we get all this excitement. We're together and it's easy. But then that's only 4 days of the year. And then we realize majority of the time we're not going to be together. So let's continue to take the other 361 days to share the story. Okay, that's it.
Okay, that was easy. Do you want to add anything about your local community involvement?
Yeah, I think being in Toronto in such a big city, it's often everybody goes from one place to the next. So what I try to do is just get involved in the community spaces. So I find places that have like-minded people. So oftentimes in this conversation of peace, people are often just thinking about getting their school work done, or getting enough sleep. So the regular things. But how can you surround yourself with the people that will encourage you? So that's what I've been doing. I've joined like a co-working space in Toronto, so to find like-minded people. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Keep the work up. Okay, now the same wrapping up question for Omar, and then next Paloma. So Omar, what's your big takeaway, and how do you get involved locally?
So basically, it is something related to the choir as well. We're there to promote peace through music, and we're now preparing for a big event in December, which will be taking place in Cairo and Alexandria. It's called a family concert, along with the German orchestra and other German choirs who will be part of it. And I will try to all through live streaming. The rationale, this is just an example, the rationale behind the concert that we are going to invite families from different international backgrounds just to attend the concert, and we are going to perform a special repertoire of peace for these families, so we can promote or foster this kind of spirit among families. Another way of doing it, I'm now part of the Ambassadors of Peace. I've been nominated for this because of the choir thing, and we're trying, along with the choir and different initiatives we have in Egypt, to develop some projects for peace. And I think I'll leave the platform for Packy when for her turn, in order not to take so much time for us to discuss it, for me to discuss it. I will leave the platform for Packy, my colleague as an ambassador of peace in Egypt, to talk about this.
Okay, great. Next was Luis, I think, right? Paloma. Luis is all nervous. Paloma, your big takeaway, how do you get involved in your local community besides the event you're planning for the 10th?
Yes, so I think my biggest takeaway in the event was that the problems we're trying to solve, especially social problems and the refugee crisis and like peace worldwide, it's way too complex and it's really hard to solve, right? So if we keep doing the old-fashioned way of I'm gonna solve this problem, we won't get there unless we work together. And we need to have as many different views and perspectives of the world, and as many different religions, and as many different cultural around the world to come together and to look at this challenge and to solve it together. So for me, when I saw all that 24 different religions coming together in one stage, it was really a symbol of how we need to bring all these different people. So like, let's say Dina from like Jordan has a really different view of what's peace than I do in Brazil, than Donata does in Canada. And how do we come together at least once a year to try to align that and to build plans to work together for the next 31 days, as Donata said, to then take this action plans into execution. So I have been developing a platform called Peace Labs for my community. So it's a website. You guys can look at it later to help people in Brazil, especially, to share social problems they identify and to collaborate together to create solutions for that problem. And one of them we build uses technology. So that's how I got really into technology as well, building for peace. We teach kids from 5 years and up how to identify a problem in their community and to use what they love, which is games and technology, to solve that problem. So that project is called We Are All Smart. The main focus is to show people that it doesn't matter to learn content, it matters to believe you're smart enough to learn whatever. So if you want to build a light bulb, you can go on Google and type, I want to build a light bulb, and in 5 steps, you can wiki how to do it. And whenever the kids in the little fisherman village who have barely access to anything learn that they are smart enough, it doesn't matter their geolocalization, it doesn't matter their like financial limitations, it doesn't matter anything, they gotta believe in themselves, they can just do it. That was really like, that's really the work on ground that I have been doing. But I think like we need to build like this 300 days plan that we can all do ourselves back in our homes.
Okay, thank you very much. Muito obrigado. Now, on to Luis Cabrera, followed by Pakinam, followed by Raiza, and then finally Brandon. Luis, what is your big takeaway from all these web conferences, from the World Peace Forum, from your experience in working towards peace? And also, how do you get involved locally? How do you build peace at your local community?
Okay. And how I can involve it's locally. Then I answer the fifth question because I am actually working to the second. For me, what I'm doing is, for example.
Do it.
Okay, sorry, time. Okay, I'm going to the university alone, and I present my project. And I say, I'm doing this. You want to work with me or not? And all the people say, oh yes, it is interesting. So let's do it. I'm only move myself. I go to a place, present, say you can work for peace. Come on.
Right.
And what was the first question?
The first question is, what's your big takeaway? What's your impression of these webinars, of the World Peace Forum?
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great way for connecting people, for see that peace is possible in the world, for see that we are not different. All the people think that we are very different for living in Egypt, for living in Spain, for living in Germany. But it's false. We are not very different. We have similar ideas like this. We are speaking, we have similar ideas, we can see the chat and see that all the people want to work together. So that's it. This is possible.
Very optimistic, great. Now on to Pakinam.
Hello.
Hello.
For me, I want to just highlight the fact that I think that they're interconnected. the conferences that we do and the World Peace Forums that we attend, because for me, they are the guidelines that I apply in my daily life. For instance, last conference in Brazil, it taught me how to stop stereotyping, because as we were stereotyped, actually in reality, I had also some stereotypes.
Right.
So yeah, frankly speaking, you know.
For example?
They were broken down, and I read so much online about Brazil that has a lot of people who steal and so on. And in fact, I was walking around in the streets and so safe, you know. So this had given me the guideline in my daily life in Cairo and in Egypt that I should stop stereotyping. I should see and experience first, and then I have the idea. So, and on the parallel side of the world, I tried to implement this by being an HR member in the student union in my university, because HR it's all about to deal with people. So I wanted to cross this and to go directly and talk with people, you know, through the HR thing. And also, I believe that education, which is the education of peace, is our way out for our hopes and dreams. So I felt also that by implementing some peace projects in my university and trying to let them be aware of the culture of peace and how they're interrelated to education and to our surroundings in Cairo, we can implement what we want. So we're currently working on a peace project in the needy areas in Egypt, in the northern part of Egypt, in the borders with Libya. It's very needy, poor area that we want to promote education for people to feel their power and to know more about the other parts of the world, you know. So by then we can achieve peace on a practical manner.
Shukran. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again with Iuri and Raiza. If their microphone is working now.
Hello.
Hello. Did you understand the question?
Sim.
Sim.
Mas tu precisa traduzir.
Sim, não é problema.
Então, eu vou começar. Primeiro, na verdade, o fórum trouxe para mim só coisas boas para a vida. E é difícil eu falar um momento bom do fórum.
It's very hard to wrap the forum up in one moment because it was a bunch of great experiences.
Yes. E como eu posso dizer, eu fiquei muito fascinada porque na programação, todos que estavam envolvidos com a programação, com a organização, pensaram desde um detalhe, de um copo ecológico que pensasse na natureza e de nós estarmos em paz com o meio que nós vivemos, até os grandes projetos que existem no mundo.
So Raiza was very happy about all the range of projects and initiatives for peace, from ecology and good nutrition, good alimentation, and safe way of life, all the way up to big international projects.
E também fiquei impressionada de tantas religiões, tantas línguas, tantas pessoas de várias nações estarem convivendo, claro, pacificamente, que era esse o objetivo do fórum, e mesmo com religiões diferentes, eu e a Paky, por exemplo, no mesmo quarto, ela é muçulmana, eu sou do cristianismo, como quarto também, a Anita também. Então,
Raiza,
pode falar.
Okay. I didn't hear the last part, but anyways, fascinated by the diversity of languages, religions, cultures, like many of you have said. And she takes, for an example, Pakinam, who is a Muslim, Raiza is a Christian. They met in Brazil and everything was fine. I mean, no stereotypes whatsoever.
E nós vivemos momentos assim de intensa unidade desde a hora que nós acordávamos até o fim do dia, vivendo muita unidade e paz, que construiu diariamente.
So, from the day we met at the very first day of the forum until the hugs and goodbyes on the last day, we had great moments, we shared experiences, we became good friends, and that's probably what peace is about.
E dois projetos e pessoas...
Iuri, a última reflexão.
Dois projetos e pessoas me chamaram muita atenção. Foi o projeto três, na verdade, da Julius Lamort, o projeto também da Elephants for Peace, que liga com a arte, que é uma das minhas áreas, né? Pode traduzir.
Sim. The two projects you like the best are the Elephants for Peace that we talked about earlier with Donata, and then the other project. Qual foi?
E também,
Elephants for Peace.
sim. E também a fala do Matias, quando ele menciona sobre a ecologia, que a ecologia começa dentro de nós, a ecologia profunda, que dentro de nós também tem um mundo. Então, como esse mundo, estando em paz, estando em harmonia, pode ser benéfico e nós podemos estar melhor com os outros quando estamos em paz conosco.
Then the other workshop was from Matthias Amadassi from Argentina. He's, I think, a vegan, and he held several workshops about healthy living and healthy eating. And his analogy was very interesting. He said, if we as a society try to protect the environment and the ecosystem, in the same way, we should also protect our own environment, our own ecosystem, which is our body. So it only makes sense to eat and live healthy in order to recreate this ecology within us.
Na verdade, eu teria muitas coisas para falar.
Ok.
Quem sabe em outro momento, né? Mas o fórum trouxe, assim, muita energia para os jovens do meu estado, de Santa Catarina, Brasil, né?
She would like to say so many more things, but we're obviously running out of time. And the World Peace Forum was also made possible and a great experience for all the young people from Santa Catarina province who helped volunteering and helped with all the organizations. So big thank you to them. We made great friends with them. We learned a lot of Portuguese. So muito obrigado.
De nada.
Muito obrigado.
Obrigada também, Tomas.
Liz?
Iuri?
Obviamente. Liz and Brandon.
Yes. Well, for the first
Liz, what's your big takeaway?
Well, the biggest thing I take from that is that from the forum is that peace is possible. So, and that starts from ourselves. But we also have to work in unity. So that's the thing I learned. I take home that hope and unity is one of the important things that involves peace. So we have to have that, that hope, and I could take that from the forum. So it gave me a lot of energy to keep working in other projects. And well, the second.
Thank you. Second question.
The second question.
What's your?
Well,
how do you promote peace in your?
Here in Argentina, actually this year I work with some other ambassadors, young ambassadors that founded something called Consciences Politics, and I am also part of the Peace Council of Argentina. So a lot of projects are working there. One of them is we ask people to take pictures, young people to take pictures, promoting what they do for peace. So
Wow.
we use the word for peace I am capable of, that in Spanish is por la paz soy capaz. That capable contains the word peace in Spanish. So that is one of the projects. I'm also working in other groups of youths that they are also working for peace. So I return very motivated from the forum, and it is helping to doing a lot of things, and sharing all the experience also helps others.
Thank you very much. Brandon, last but not least, what's your biggest takeaway also from your personal experience in the World Prayer Society, from all this peace work, peace activism, and well, we already know how you get involved locally, so maybe concentrate on the first part.
Nothing that I haven't said before. Each time we do something like this, and after participating from afar in the Brazil conference, it just kind of gives more of a sense of solidarity in our, not brotherhood, because we're not just brothers, we're brothers and sisters, and we're all together in this bigger picture. We're all working on something, but in the end, it is really all just for one thing. And this is a reminder that it's an activity. If you're passive, then you're working against it. You have to be active in working towards the goal. And I posted a quote before that I learned from the UN. It says, if you are expecting to live in peace, then you have to prepare for peace. And that is continuing conversation, continuing being active on the small level, and that is how we make the vibration to the greater whole.
Thank you very much. It just makes sense. We have to always be active, and be active every day, like we said earlier. Otherwise, the peace project stalls and we stay where we are. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for this last answering round. I think Ali wanted to add a last word. He always needs to have the last word. So go ahead, Ali.
Thank you so much, Tommy, and thank you everyone for your time and for your different ideas related to peace. Well, last but not least, I just wanted to quote two persons here. The first one is Teresa. She mentioned something very interesting, and it's the fact that we must share information. She mentioned something related to sharing information, and Brandon, he put in the chat, in order to live in peace, we must prepare for it. So what I want to say here is that we all, as youth, we always are interested in doing something related to peace. But I think the most important challenge for us is that sometimes we do not even know what to do in order to achieve peace in our communities. So what I would like to propose is that we should use these platforms to educate ourselves by inviting academics, youth leaders, government leaders, to talk to us about peace and show us what we need to do in order to accomplish peace in our communities, in our societies. Because it's very diverse. And if we don't have the proper knowledge in order to achieve peace, we won't be able to achieve anything at the end. Thank you very much, and hope you all have a great day.
Great as always, Ali. Thank you very much. Maybe for a last goodbye, you can all turn on your microphones, and on the count of 3, we say, may peace prevail in your country. Let's do this. Are you all ready?
Actually, our country.
Wait, Omar wants to say something?
Yeah, we can say may peace prevail on earth, not in our countries only.
Okay, makes more sense. Okay, everybody. 3, 2, 1.
May peace prevail on earth.
Great. Okay. See you in Jordan. See you at the next webinar.
See you next year.
And everybody who's watching, please feel free to join us on our venture for world peace. Join us on our mission. We need help. We need more people. Everybody wants the same thing in life. So let's work for peace together, multiply our efforts. Tell your friends about this. Anybody's welcome to be a panelist in future webinars. So don't be shy. Money is not a problem. Anybody can participate. Age is not a problem. So don't be shy and join the group. Brandon just shared the group. Send emails, whatever. Stay in touch, and hopefully see you in Jordan.